Three, two, one. All right, we are live. We are talking about the slumping, stinking Braves. Offensively, terrible. They're 0-13 in the month of May if a team scores three or more runs on them. By the way, saw that stat 0-13. So pretty bad hitting. But I guess the major news, obviously, let's not sweep it underneath the rug here. Ronald Acuna done, out for the season. Got injured in Pittsburgh. He lay there on PNC Field. It was quite distressing to watch. I was on protest with the Braves because they were struggling with the Pirates, and that's just ridiculous. And then I go to my phone, open it up, watch the game, and I see Ronald Acuna laying on the infield, and my heart dropped. So I think probably, and I think we're both going to talk about this at length, the Braves are going to have to make a move. I don't think they're going to make a move till the All-Star break or after. I think what we have right now with Kelnick and Duvall playing in the corners of the outfield, that's going to be the lineup for till July, and most likely, and the Braves are kind of in a they're in a holding pattern right now, especially with the moves like tonight. We're recording on Thursday, and this is the last game with the Nationals. You know, they could lose a 4-game series to the Nationals, which is pretty bad. And they're throwing Ray Kerr out there and giving Lopez an extra day of rest. They're kind of in these. We'll get this later on, and I don't think the thought process, even with Acuna out, I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think this is a playoff team. They have all-stars everywhere. They shouldn't. They're loaded. I don't. The East, though, I think is almost now kind of out of reach.
Well, I don't know. How many games back are we? I really don't know.
Either 5.5 or 6 right now.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I disagree with it being out of reach. First of all, the schedule flips our way. I think we're underperforming. I think like I said last time we recorded, I expect some of these guys to adjust to the mean. Got to remember, they won everything without Acuna, right? That was the year that he was out. So,
and a less talented roster, by the way.
I know what?
Less talented roster.
I agree with that. Yeah. No, I agree. So, I think they're in a slump. Obviously, Ronald Acuna being out is not great, but let's just call it. I'm calling it like it is, and nobody's. And I'm a big fan of his. So with all those disclaimers and caveats, he has historically missed a lot of games. He has been up and down. He has not been consistent. He's had years like he had last year, which was a barn burner. But he's also, there's been ins and outs with him. So everybody, and he's exciting. He's one of the most exciting players. I think he has some of the best talent. I told you, a couple of years ago, we may be watching a generational player, but you do worry about his longevity, sort of like a Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Missing this many games. So, with all that being said, I think it's going to take a while. If we're within reach, given our schedule, I have faith in Anthopoulos to make the right moves. I think we're going to end up having to get a bat out in the outfield, and I think we're also going to have to get an arm, and I think we're going to have to. Here's what I told you earlier. I don't know what it was today or yesterday. I don't think Atlanta, where you and I said, hey, this was before the Acuna injury. We got to lock down this 5th spot, right? Now, I don't think we want to lock down that 5th spot. I think what we want to do is stay close.
Right.
stay within striking distance and showcase some of these arms and use them as bait, because I think Atlanta understands we have a chance to be on a run here. We got these players for a little bit. We got to go, and we may have to do that to get a bat in right field and another arm, which is, I think, what we're going to end up doing. When they do that, I think it's going to be dependent on how far out of the reach they are before the All-Star games.
I agree with that. And look, I know there's a lot of people are hitting the panic button. I'm down. It is so hard. I've been watching every night.
It's bad.
It's bad to watch. I mean, strikeouts are unbelievable. I mean, some of the things that they're swinging at are just they couldn't hit the ball with an oar. There are some really bad swings out there. They can't get guys over. Not only are they not playing, not hitting well, they're not fielding very well either. They're doing the basics just bad. And a lot of people have talked about, well, Eric Young Sr.'s gone, Ron Washington, that was the catalyst. People are wanting to fire Sicer for some reason. I don't know what that would ever do, honestly, whatever. But the Braves are in a win now, and they got these guys locked up till 2030. I think the only really person that you have to worry about leaving is Max Fried. And more than likely, he's probably going to leave, and I think we all should just start to really focus on that. And then the pitching and the Braves right now, their minor league system, their top 5 prospects are all pitching prospects. And we just saw it was Schellenbach. I thought he pitched really good he was in Double-A, and he only pitched like 3 games in Double-A. And the dude was really good, and I liked his stuff. I mean, I like cutting the curveball, cuts vertically, or not vertically, horizontally. I was really good in college. And he had really good stuff. AJ Smith-Shawver, I know he's on the DL. Minter, by the way, today was just announced on the DL with hip inflammation. We're having a really tough time with the injury bug lately. They're going to have to figure out their pitching rotation next year, and hopefully they can get Fried. Who knows? Morton's probably going to retire. Then you got Chris Sale and Strider coming off of a elbow, and then Ian Anderson is probably not going to come back till July. So there's a lot of questions with the pitching rotation, but the Braves are in a win-now situation. And then they got this core locked up for at least the next 5 years. It's okay to sell the farm to get another World Series. And I think I would hope Antopoulos knows that. I think he does. I'm okay with just going broke. It's okay at this point.
No, I agree. And here's the other thing I would just say, just short term, right?
Yeah.
Atlanta's pitching, I think they have more shutouts, or they're up there in terms of shutouts.
They lead the National League.
So let's just hope we can maintain that. These older guys can keep that going. Bullpen, keep the streak going. Let the hitting catch up. And so then I think Atlanta will be okay. And look, I agree with you. I think it's okay for the next year or two to go for everything that we possibly can, because I think it's possible for Atlanta, to be next 3 to 4 years one of the teams that should win 1 to 2 more championships. 1 minimum. I think
one is minimum. If they don't win another World Series even without Acuna, it is to me a complete failure.
I agree.
Failure. This would basically be the 90s all over again in the 2000s. So
good point. Yeah.
This is a time to go, and we'll figure out. Hopefully, next year in the winter, we can get some guys in free agency and get a good pitcher. Figure it all out later, but for right now, we're in a win now mode. And here's the other thing, and I know a lot of people are really uncomfortable with this. topic, and it's kind of to your point about Acuna. Acuna is going to come back, but if you remember that 2022 season, he was an average. He was a all-star, but average. He wasn't Ronald Acuna that we all know.
Right.
So to me, if I'm Antopoulos, not only am I looking to get an outfielder, but I'm looking to get an outfielder for the next 2 seasons. You're going to have to cover because who knows if Acuna's even going to be the same guy. That's 2 ACLs. I mean, Mickey
On the
Mantle,
same knee or different knee?
different knee, but it's still 2 different. It's 2 ACLs. And look, all I heard was Mickey Mantle say that he was not the same player whenever he got his knees ruined twice, and that he had to change his game completely. And it took him a couple of years to figure that out. Now, obviously, that's Mickey Mantle. I don't know if Acuna is up there with Mickey Mantle.
It's also 1960s technology. You know what I mean?
That's true too, but I mean, hey, he said it. I whatever. I believe whatever Mickey Mantle says. I'm a believer. So, Randy Ariza is one of those guys that he's not having a good year out in Tampa, but he's probably frustrated because they suck. That's a guy that the Braves could add. They could add a spark. Luis Roberts Jr. for the White Sox. I don't know if the White Sox would get rid of him. I would try. He's under a contract for a long time. He could add energy. And then, and there's probably other guys out there that I have no. I think Rooker for the Athletics is definitely probably viable. Hell, if the Athletics, they'll probably give whatever Antopoulos offers them, given the track record there. So we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see the moves, but we're a long way off. For the Braves, they got to start hitting better and at least tread water till the All-Star break and they've got to figure this out. Ozzy's got to step up. Ozzy's been getting better, but he's got to step up. Riley has got to step the fuck up. Now, he's had a really disappointing year. Olsen's starting to get hot. I know we've argued about this, by the way. In the last 20 games, he's hit 311. So you can't tell me that he's not getting hot. He's getting hot.
All right.
Acuna has been basically the MVP. If the season ended today, Azuna's the MVP. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for him, the Braves would be under 500.
Who would have thought?
Not me. Well, actually,
not me either.
No, I would have definitely voted for that. Obviously, Azuna's MVP for everything, especially in life. And then Duvall and Kelenic, Michael Harris. I mean, Michael Harris has the highest ceiling, I think, and has not reached his potential yet. He needs to start stepping up. Arcia's got to step up. Arcia's got to hit better. Sean Murphy, he's got to hit better.
It's going to take a while for him and Riley to get acclimated. I really do. I'm not giving them passes, right?
I'm not giving them passes.
I agree. Some of these other things you're saying is exactly correct.
They've got to step the fuck up, and they haven't, and they haven't done it all year. And that's, to me, honestly, the most disappointing thing is these guys don't really seem to be killers, and they don't have that killer instinct. And and I'm tired of hearing Snickers say, it's one of them things. It's not. Something's got to be done, and I don't. Obviously,
I know. I mentioned it in the previous podcast, that Buck Bellew said it, and I think he's exactly right, man. They need a few more dogs on this team, and I'm hoping this is people like Chris Sale, some of these, and Charlie Morton. Some of these older pitchers that, hey, we can't carry this motherfucker all year. Y'all need to step the fuck up. Think about an older pitcher stepping up and saying that. One that's won a World Series or, Cy Young, right? Didn't Chris Sale?
Yeah, Chris Sale's won a World Series, won a Cy Young. Charlie Morton's won multiple World Series. So, someone's got to step up and someone's got to say something. And this team needs a moment, a spark, something. But Last night, even though they lost and they didn't look good at all. Actually, it was putrid to watch. There felt something there, and that was the first time all season really that I felt something is there. I don't know if it's just me hoping and being, optimistic and really wanting there to be something, but there felt like there was something there. So we'll see. But these guys got to start stepping the fuck up because we got a long way till October, and it could get ugly really fast if people don't start stepping up.
Yeah, I don't think I'm on the concern meter. I would say that I'm probably less than you. If we're staying within 5.5, 6, 7 games to fill going into the playoffs, I'm not worried about it. I do think all this will work itself out. I have enough faith. So, on a scale of concern, I would put myself at a 6.7. Where would you put yourself?
On a concern meter?
Yeah,
Oh,
and tend to be in panic.
well, wait, let me clarify. Is it the entire season overall or just this moment in time?
No, the season overall.
Okay, well, let me ask another question to get my number down better. Are we concerned that not winning the World Series or not making the playoff or getting into the World Series, I should say?
No, I would say at this point, playing for the National League Championship.
Okay, so
Being one of the last two teams standing in the National League.
Yeah, probably a 7.2, 7.3.
All right.
Somewhere
Well,
there, but
we're not that far apart, but
no, we're not. But I honestly, I think what the gap is, I'm watching every single inning, every single out, and it's just been so frustrating to watch. And I can't really because you get to kind of remove yourself a little bit because you're not watching every single inning. You're tuning in, you're watching, but you're not watching every single thing. So you have a little bit of a better, clearer view than I am because I'm really in the shit right now. I mean, it was really last night was probably the most frustrating game to watch out of all the games so far because the kid was pitching pretty fucking good, and if he had some support, he probably wouldn't have thrown that fucking home run, that bomb, because he felt like he had to be perfect. That's the problem. That's where the Braves are at because that kid felt like he had to throw perfect, and he was throwing. He had some really good shit, and I gotta tell you, Al, we watched Strider make his first start, Max Fried as well. To me, I came away extremely impressed, like I did with Strider and with Fried. I was like,
wow.
this guy's got something to him, and he has a great baseball name, Schwellenbach, whatever. It's a great
He's
baseball.
from Michigan.
He's from Michigan. There's something about him that I just dig. He's got curly blonde hair, and he looks like a baseball player. He looks like a pitcher. He kind of looks like Paul Bird, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's something about him that I just like. And he has good stuff, and he's got interest. And I really dig him. So, we'll see. I don't know. It was really frustrating, and hopefully, whenever we come back, that they'll do something. I don't know.
Well, let's hope.
That's
So
all.
we're on the same side of the road. I'm not panicked, but I think they'll be fine. Just stay within striking distance. These guys will come up to mean is what I would say.
I totally agree. All right. Check out Terminus Sports, _ATL on TikTok. Same thing on Twitter. And then WordPress, or just Google it. It'll be Terminus Sports or Terminus Sports ATL. If your shipping needs or presenting sponsor, Unishippers Atlanta, ask for who you want to ask for.
Holland Martin.
Ask for Holland. All right. We will see you on the other side.